I'm going to do here, the first thing I'm going to do in the chat is I'm going to put a code in there. The code is S7D7G, okay? And I'm going to put it in the chat on the side. And the reason I'm putting that code in the chat on the side is because we're going to use it in a minute. So make sure you know where your chat is. Make sure you can open up your chat and you can see where the code is. So I've put the code in the chat on the side and it says S7D7G. And if you can't find the chat, it's all good. I'll hold it up for you here if I can. I'll have to figure out my blur on my camera. So it's S7D7G. That's the code. It's in the chat on the side there. If you're wondering where the chat is, everybody, you just click on the bottom and under more, it says chat there and you can see it. Okay, I'm gonna get going here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip my screen around. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. I wanna make sure, good, I see a thumbs up already. That's awesome. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Everyone on your computer right now, go to Google, regular old Google, and what I want you to do is I want you to type in CoSpaces like that, CoSpaces. You can see it right there and just hit enter on your keyboard. So CoSpaces, CoSpaces. Hit enter on your keyboard. And when you hit enter on your keyboard, it will take you to this place right here. And the name of the very, very top hit you get is CoSpaces right here. I'll also put CoSpaces in the chat in case any of you miss it. So I just put it in the chat there in case any of you were wondering how to spell it. Okay. So once you are at CoSpaces and you're on the Google CoSpaces, what I want you to do is I want you to click the top hit right here. So click on it and it will take you to a website that looks like this. It's like pink. It has like two kids on the side of it. It has like pirate ships spinning around. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you're in the website. And if you need any help, just toss it in the chat there and I'll help you out. We're getting thumbs up all around. Sweet, sweet. Love it. Okay. So once you're in here, what I need you to do is I want you to go up to the very, very top right corner and there's a little thing that says register. It's like a orange button, I guess you could say, and click on register. And when you click register, it will take you to a screen that looks like this. And there's only two buttons. I think you know which one to hit, okay? I want you to tap the student button right here. So click it, and it will ask you to put the code in. Now, can you remember the code? The code is S7D7G. That is the code right there. And you will know that code is correct because it will say continue on the bottom. Okay, so I need everyone to type the code in. Once you've typed the code in, S7D7G right here, so S7D7G, click continue, and it will take you back to this part right here, and you'll be like, okay, that was easy enough. Is anyone having any trouble right here? If you're having trouble, you can unmute your mic, or you can go into the chat right on the side there, and you can say, Nate, I don't know what's going on. Or Nate, I'm in trouble. Okay, I think generally everyone seems to be okay. Now, here's the interesting part. You can sign in using any one of these, but I personally like to sign in using my name. So my name is Nate, okay? Now, my username can be whatever you want, but you have to remember this username because this is how you get back inside. So if you have a little pen and paper right now, maybe it might be a good idea to write this down. Whatever you create your username as. My username is going to be, what should my username be? I'm going to call it Nate Gamer 1976 because that is the year I was born. And I'm just going to put Nate Gamer 1976. You can make it whatever you want, but please, you have to remember it. Okay? So whatever you make your name, please, you have to remember it. Okay, I'm going to come down to the bottom. I'm going to make a password. Now, the password is not a normal password. You can't just type in like ABC123. It has to have 8 characters in it. So it has to have 8. Whoops. It has to have letters and numbers. Yeah, so you can make up your password, and I'll let you do that right now. I'm going to make up my password. And if you try and create your account, all these check marks will go off. You can see there's all these check marks on the side. If you get all of the check marks, that means your password is okay. If your password doesn't have all the check marks, you're going to need to like try and make a stronger password. Okay. So my suggestion right now, get a piece of paper, write down your username, write down your password, so you don't forget it for when we come in next week and we are going to continue building our video games. So, I mean, I can help you get back in, but my suggestion is you write this down right now because I even forget my username and password. Okay, I'm going to give everyone, can you give me a thumbs up if you are okay with this? I'm going to click on create my account and it's going to submit it and it's going to like wait, and it's going to give me this weird screen right here, and I'm going to click X, and then I'm going to be here. And it's just going to say UBC. That's all it's going to say. Nothing fancy. Don't click on anything else. Just stay here at UBC. Is anyone having any trouble with this part right here? I want to make sure that everyone is okay. If you're having any trouble, you can unmute your mic and say, Nate, what's happening? Or you can type into the chat on the side to me. And you can say, Nate, I need some help. I'm just going to wait till everybody's here. Could you toss a thumbs up into the chat on the side if you're okay? I just want to make sure everyone's okay and everyone's comfortable with starting out, because I know it can take a little bit of time to get ready, and it takes a little bit of time for everyone to get their password and the username. It's not easy stuff. Good. I'm getting a thumbs up generally across the board, which is good. Good. I'm getting thumbs up. Like I'm getting all kinds of different colors of thumbs up, which is good. So what I want you to do is once you're inside this space right here, I want you to click on the UBC little button right here. So click on the UBC button and it will take you to a place that has this like kind of strange gray square in it like this. Okay, just click on the gray square and that will take you into our world. And this is where we start to learn how to build our video games. So I'm going to close it up and you're going to like be inside this sort of strange looking place. But fear not, we will go through it and figure it out together. It'll be your first time in here. It'll seem a little bit strange, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to assume everybody's in here. If you're not in here, I'll go back again and I'm just going to say you should be inside UBC and inside this like gray box right here, and it will take you to like a thing here. Now, first thing I'm going to do before we start like building our game out and before we start doing anything at all, I'm going to talk about like what's going on here. So first things first, if you left click your mouse or if you click on your trackpad and turn, you can see you can kind of look around your space like this. Like looking around, you can look up on top, you can look down, you can look all over the place. So this is your editor. This is where you build your video game, your 3D video game in here. Now you can zoom in and zoom out. So you use your mouse scroll wheel, or if you're on a trackpad, you can pinch it or unpinch it, I guess, is the two different ways to do it. So scroll in or scroll out like that. Now this weird thing in the center, if you click on this thing in the center, this is your camera. Think of the camera as you. You are the camera. You are the thing that looks out of the camera. So this little weird white part on the front of the camera is your view. It's where you look. Now, if you take the camera, you can actually, there's a little circle below the camera and you click it, you can turn the camera around. You can also, on top of the camera, there's two arrows. You can move the camera up and down. But the best thing to do with the camera right now is just kind of leave it where it is. You can grab it and move the camera around your workspace like that if you want to. But we're going to kind of leave the camera in the center because we're going to be using it to build kind of a room out around the camera. Okay? Don't worry about these other two buttons on the top right there right now. They're not really that important. Okay? So next thing, what we're going to do is we are going to build some walls out here. Now you're like, well, walls, what are you talking about? There's no walls in this room. But actually, if you come down, way down on the bottom, down here, there is a very, very, very small button. Actually, it's a square, and it says library on it. So what I want you to do, I want you to come down to the bottom down here and click on library. And in library, you have like all of these people. Like you can see there's like babies and Santa Claus and like astronauts and scuba divers and people from Rome and the Grinch, actually. I don't want you to worry about them right now. I want you to start way down on the bottom, and there's a button called building. And it's way on the bottom. It's right below the flower, and it's called building. I want you to click on that button. And inside here, you have all of these crazy shapes. You can see there's like, I don't know, all kinds of different shapes. The shape we're going to be using right now is going to be the wall shape, which is this like brick wall right here. You can see there's a brick wall. So what I want you to do, I want you to grab the brick wall and I want you to pull it out and put it in front of your camera like that. Just grab it and put it in front of your camera. Don't put it way out here. Just put it right in front of your camera. And I'm just going to sit here for a second and I'm going to close my library up and I'm going to kind of zoom around my brick wall and take a nice look at it just to, you know, get an idea of what it looks like. There's my brick wall. What I'm going to get everyone to do is I want you to play around with the wall. I want you to kind of stretch it out. I want you to go up or down, or I want you to go left or right with it. I just want you to play with some of these. Now, don't make it too long because let's make it like kind of like, you know, the length of a regular wall. I'm going to make mine kind of about that long. Now, here's another tip while we're sitting here kind of looking at the wall. If you want to move your editor around, hold down your space bar and left click the button and you can do what's called a pan, P-A-N. Pan allows you to move around your space. You have to hold your space bar down and left click your mouse button though to make that happen. Okay, so that's called a pan. Or you can just hold down the space bar and click on your trackpad and move it back and forth. Pan is different than a regular orbit because a pan actually moves your entire editor, like your camera around, okay? I thought I'd just give that little hint there. All right, so let's click on our wall. And if you right click your wall, I'll say this again, right click your wall. If you don't have a mouse, you can 2-finger click your trackpad. I call it a snake bite. You like 2-finger tap your trackpad. This weird little thing will pop up right here with all of this information on it. Now it's called a brick wall. And if you look, there's a thing called material right here. If you click on material, you can change what your wall looks like. So you can have it become gray. You can make it blue. You can make it green. And you can also change the color of it. So I am actually going to make a red texture and I'm gonna click on texture. I'm gonna make it like, actually, I'm gonna go with that kind of, I don't know what that is, like a roof kind of wall? I guess it's something like that. So I'll show you that one more time. So right click your wall. So right click on your mouse, not left click, right click, and click on material right here. And then you can see all the different materials you can use. You can even make your wall see-through, like it's glass, by changing the opacity on the bottom. So you can slide that up and down. And we'll talk about that more later. I'm going to make my wall 100% opacity, and I'm just going to kind of close this up. All right, so I'm just going to quickly, I can actually see all of your spaces. Okay, so I am going to just, sorry, I said I was going to jump into some, I'll pull this over. See, I can see inside of your spaces right here, what you're working on. So I can see some of your work. So I'm just going to jump back out here and let's see. Let's click on Karis. There we go. I can see Karis moving the wall around and rotating it. Good. So actually, I'm going to talk about the rotation a little bit. The rotation is if you click this button on the top, you can rotate your wall up and down. I would just be a bit careful about rotating it. I wouldn't worry about rotating it just yet. I would just worry about stretching it out and getting it to be the size you like. So we'll rotate it in a minute. Okay, so I am just going to come back in. Sorry, I'm going to pop my Zoom open here because I want to make sure I keep my eyes on the chat, see if anyone's having any trouble. What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to do what's called a duplicate of your wall. So to do that, all you need to do is click on your wall. Sorry, to right click on your wall. So right click on your wall and down on the bottom, right above the delete button is a duplicate button. If you click that, it creates an exact copy of your wall. I'll do that one more time if anybody missed that. So right click your wall, come all the way to the bottom and click on duplicate. And now here is where our rotation comes in hand. Your blue circle on the bottom of your wall, you can grab it and you can rotate your wall to, well, rotate it to 90 degrees. So there we go. I'm going to rotate my wall out 90 degrees. I am then going to right click and create a second wall. I'm also going to rotate this wall to 90 degrees and I'm going to kind of attach it to the side. So I have 3 walls now. I'm just going to kind of rotate my and zoom out a little bit. And please remember, Whenever you're having trouble and you can't see anything, you can click on your space bar and left click and move your camera around if you're ever kind of lost. Now I'm going to right click my first wall again. I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to create a fourth wall. So I've created my 4 walls. There is no way your walls have to be the same color. You can totally make them, actually I'd prefer it if you make them crazy colors. It'll be a bit more interesting. I'm going to make mine a blue, a brown, and a green, just to be like, yeah, just to make it kind of a bit more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna jump into your spaces and take a look at what all of you are doing. Hope you don't mind. I can see someone building their wall here. Cool. Let's see what else is going on here. Marcus, I'm gonna jump into yours for a second. Cool, Marcus. I love the purple walls. That looks really cool. Nice. Aiden, see what's going on here. Nice. Got like the kind of stone wall look to yours. What I like about creating games or just building in 3D actually is the nice. I like this like kind of um, beige kind of look to it. Looks really good. I can see you're altering your wall color right here on the side. I'll bring this over to the side right here and let you get back to working what you're working on. Okay, so I'm just going to check the chat out here. I don't see anyone with any questions yet. So I'll give you another couple minutes to build your wall out and play around with the size of them. You don't want your wall too low because the character will be able to jump right over the wall. So make them a height that's, I don't know, somewhat reasonable. Now, I'm just going to bring this one up a little bit. Your first question probably is, Nate, the walls are awesome, but why? I can't even get out. Like there's no windows, there's no doors. It's kind of a little bit boring. So what I want you to do first is up in the right-hand corner of your screen, there is a very, very small button that says play on it. So if you click the play button, you will notice you can click on your mouse, you can walk forwards and backwards. WASD is your friend. If anyone has ever played Minecraft, this is the standard. You can click your space bar and you will jump, and you can use your mouse to look around. Now, you shouldn't be able to jump over the walls. My walls are way too high, which is good. I don't think you have a sprint though. Yeah, not that I recall. Now to get out of here, this is your play mode. You click the arrow and it'll take you back to your editor mode. So the play mode and the editor mode are completely different. One is for testing and one is for building, essentially. So what I'd like you to do right now is just click on your play mode and kind of wander around inside your very, very tiny room that you've made. You can even make a tiny little kind of doorway like that to be able to get out. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to see if I can walk out of my doorway. Now, your level right now is pretty barren. It's like something in the, I don't know, like in a computer with absolutely nothing in it. So what we want to do is we definitely want to add some flair to our level because currently our level is quite dull. Now, adding an environment to your level in CoSpaces is really, really easy, luckily enough for us. So what we're going to do is come way down to the bottom down here, and there's actually a button that says environment. So what I'd like you to do, click on environment, and there's another square that says edit on it. So click on edit, and you can choose your environment. Now, there's not tons. I prefer, myself personally, I suggest you do not choose the room here because the room actually creates a room around your room. So don't choose the room, but you can choose any other environment you like. You can choose the village or the city. I personally like the wide open kind of mountain. And instantly you have yourself a nice little kind of 3D environment. Now, keep in mind, you do not work outside your grid. Your grid is kind of like your box that you work in. So you do not build outside of here and you can't walk outside this area. But it does look pretty nice, at least having kind of mountains around. Now, you can make it nighttime. You can see I've got like the star. I don't know if it has any stars though. No, I don't see any stars. You can make it rain. So you can have it raining in your environment. If you like that kind of autumn feel to it, you can have the leaves coming down. Yeah, and there is a lot more stuff you can do here. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to add some doors and some windows into our CoSpaces. Now, doors and windows before was difficult, but CoSpaces has made it easier, which is awesome. So click on Library right here and come down to next to the dog. There's like a Scotty dog called Animals. Click on the tab that says Housing. So click on Housing. And under housing, if you go to the right and keep going to the right, I'm going to show you an easier way to do this. I'm kind of doing this the long way, actually. There is a whole bunch. There's doors here, and there's windows here. There's actually 2 windows, and there's 3 different doors you can choose from. Now, if you're like, I can't find it, I'm totally lost, Nate, you can click on the search button, which is like this little magnifying glass, and you can type in window. And if you hit enter, it will take you directly to the windows. So if any of you are lost, you can always use the search function on the bottom. Now, windows are super easy. If you see this little magic wand on the side, it means you can pull it out and you can actually attach it to your wall. Check it out. It like sticks to the wall like that. And you can make it bigger by just dragging it, and dragging it. So the windows, and the doors are the same thing. You just pull them out and you attach them. You just stick them to a wall. Once you stick them to the wall, you can just move them down and you can make them bigger or smaller by using this 4 arrow thing right here. And they actually, it's really cool. They stick to the wall and they actually come out the other side. So right now, maybe just take some time and add some windows. I would add at least 1 window to all 4 corners of your design here. I'm just going to kind of work my way in here. I think I'm going to use the same type of window on the walls. And I'm going to add a tiny window right here. For our work that we're doing, just add 1 door for now. Don't add 2 doors. Don't put them all over the place because we're going to use the door. We're going to code the door a little bit. So don't add like 4 doors. Just add 1 door and see if you can add some windows around. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to jump into your spaces and I am going to kind of see how everyone is doing here. This is looking awesome, Sebastian. Nice work. Let's see here. Nice one, Lisa. And Lisa's adding a door. That looks sweet. I love it. That looks really good. So I don't know. I don't know if that door is attached or not. I don't think it is. This door right here. Yeah, there you go. Now it's attached. If it sticks out the other side, it's attached, which is good. That looks awesome, Lisa. And let's go into Aiden's here. I just want to take a look at Aiden's. Aiden's was kind of like an underwater level, which was cool. Nice, Aiden. I see you're adding your window there and kind of building it a bit bigger. That looks really good. I'm going to jump back here again. Well, I don't think I've looked at Leonardo's yet. Leonardo, that's looking really good. Awesome. You're just kind of shrinking your wall there on the other side. That's awesome. I'm going to grab your camera and kind of put it more in the center for you there. That looks really good, though. I love it. Awesome. Is there somebody I haven't looked at yet? Maybe, oh, Amanda, maybe I haven't looked at yours yet. Amanda, nice choice. It's kind of like a winter wonderland kind of theme in this one. I really like that. That's awesome. I'm just going to grab your camera and put it in the center for you there. Okay, is there any ones I haven't looked at yet? Maybe, did I look at Fletcher's? I can't remember now. Oh, I haven't looked at Fletcher's yet. Fletcher, awesome. Hey, this is an interesting design. It's like a kind of like a checkerboard. I'm assuming everyone has some kind of door and everyone has some kind of window set up. So I think we need to start talking about our person. We're going to introduce our kind of mystery. I think we'll kind of build like a bit of a game where you have to escape the room. That might be a good one, like be able to get out of the door. So we're going to add our person into it. So what I'd like you to do, now that you have your windows and your doors, one thing I want to show you, and I want you to pay attention really closely right here. This door, actually, we can open it, okay? So we can right-click the door, and if I go to this thing right here, called animation. It has a person waving their arm, like their arm is in the air. If you click on animation, you can click on open and it will open the door. Like you can actually walk out of your room now. Let me try that. I'll do that one more time for you for anyone that missed it. I'm going to click on animation. I'm going to close the door. So what I do is I right click the door and I click on animation and then I open it. That opens the door. I'm going to click play and I'm going to walk out of my room. Hold on a second here. My camera's kind of slowing down. Where's my door? Oh yeah, there we go. It's kind of spooky out. It's like Halloween. So there's my door. It's open. I'm in my room. I'm going to go back in my room now, actually, and just kind of hang out here. And I'm going to close that door. I don't want your door to be open. I want it to be closed. But I just wanted to show you that you can animate things. So, and we're going to talk more about animation in a minute here because animation is going to become very, very important in a couple minutes as we get farther in. So here's what I want you to do. This is getting kind of more complicated now, but you seem like a smart crew. So I want you to grab your camera. I want you to rotate your camera so it's facing your door. I want the flashlight. It looks like a flashlight on the front of the camera. I want it on the door. I don't want it like over here, outside, way over here. Make sure your flashlight, the front of your camera, is shining on the door like this. Okay, so put it right in front of the door. Now, the next thing we're going to do is once we have that, we are going to place a person in front of it. So I want you to come down to library. Library is where we grab all of our things. I want you to click on characters. It's the one in the next to the dog. And I want you to choose a person. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't choose the baby. I'll say it again. Don't choose the baby. I know it's very tempting to choose the baby, but the baby doesn't have any animations on it. So my suggestion is you don't choose one of these ones up here either. I suggest to start out, you choose kind of one of the plain looking people or one of the kids. I'm going to start by choosing, I'm going to choose this guy right here. And I'm going to put him right in there. And I'm going to rotate him using the circle towards the camera. So the light is shining on him like that. Now, if I want him to be bigger, I can grab this little thing here and I can make him bigger or smaller. I can make him like tiny, but I want him like, you know, kind of a normal size. And I want you to click play and I want you to make sure that when you start your game, he or she or they is sitting right in front of your door like that. Just hanging out, looking around. Once we've got our little human there, is anyone having any trouble with this? I want to make sure everyone's okay. Yeah, you can be if you put your camera like on your character and you like put it up like this and you click play, you'll start by standing on your character like this. It depends where you put your camera, right? You probably don't want to put your camera right on top of your character because we want to talk to them. So just put your camera in front of them. All right, so now we're gonna start talking a little bit about coding because I know this is the part we've been doing so far is design, and I want to talk about like coding because coding is a big part of gaming. Has anyone here ever used Scratch before or knows what Scratch is? No? Some of you do? Okay, cool. So we're going to use a program kind of like Scratch. Okay, so a lot of you do know it. Okay. And we did the microbit, so it's kind of like that too. So it's block-based programming. So what I want you to do, the first thing you have to do, and I'm going to say this again and again and again, this is so important. You need to right-click your character. You need to give them a name. Always give them a name. So my character's going to be name is Tom. That's going to be the name of my character. Please name your character. You can call them whatever you want. Doesn't matter as long as you name them. It's very important that you don't use the name that the program gives it. Okay. So my character's name is Tom, and I'm going to click on code. It says code right here, and I want you. This is the most important part. You have to turn this on. See this little switch right here? There's a tiny switch. And if you turn this switch on, it allows you to code your character and make them come alive. If you leave this switch off, you cannot code your character. Now we've got our character here. I want you to click up on the top right corner. There is a small square and it says code. I want you to click on the small square and it opens up a big screen right here. So I'll say it again. Click on code. It opens up a big screen. There is 3 options. 1, 2, 3. The one we are going to use today is called CoBlocks. It's right here. It's the one on the left. Okay, I'll do that one more time. If anyone got lost, click on code, click on CoBlocks. This one right here. Click on code, click on CoBlocks. When you click on that, it will open up a whole new area right here. Now this area is where you code, and this is how you make your character come alive. So down on the bottom, way down on the bottom, there is a gear. It looks like a tiny little gear. Click on it and make sure you are on advanced co-blocks. It's very important that you click on advanced co-blocks because that gives us tons of new stuff. It gives us like a debug, it gives us physics, it gives us all kinds of cool new stuff. So I'll say that one more time. Click on settings, click on advanced. It's very important you do that so you can follow along in our next steps. Okay, so moving along, let's get our character doing something. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to this little, it looks like a circle with a flag in it, and it's called events. You have to find that. So it's right here. It says events. Click on it, and the events pop open, and the very top event, the most important one we're going to learn about today, is called when something is clicked. And mine says when Tom is clicked. Yours will say when whatever the name of your character is clicked. Click it, drag it out, and snap it to the top of your code window. If you've used Scratch before, this is like, you're probably like, oh, I've done this before. I know how this works. If you haven't, that's okay. We're learning. All right, I'm going to zoom in on it a bit so you can see it. All right, so it says when Tom is clicked. Now this means when I click play and I click on Tom, Tom's going to do something. I want Tom to talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on actions right here, and I'll drag this over a bit. And I want Tom to say something. So the first thing we're going to do is when you code, you have to think sequentially. So at the very top, the first thing I want Tom to do is to open his mouth, like actually move his mouth up and down. So what I want you to do is grab set animation of Tom to don't animate. Yours will say set animation of Gladys to don't animate or whatever. So pull it out, put it in, and I want you to, let's just have some fun. I want you to choose any animation you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to choose the float animation. You can choose anything. It doesn't matter what you choose. Now, once you've chosen your animation, click play and click on your character. And my character will float. See how he floats like that? And if I click him again, he'll just keep floating. Every time I click him, he floats or he starts floating. Now I can walk right up to him. He's actually floating. Look, he is like a ghost off the ground there. Okay. So have some fun. Try out some different animations. You can change this to like, what would be another one? Lie down. Let's try that. I'm gonna click play. I'm gonna click on him, and he's gonna. Oh, wow. He just like, I guess he lies down and just falls asleep. Oh, he's sleeping. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna try another one. Set animation to dance fun. Let's try that out. Oh, sweet. So when I click him, he does like a cool little dance. Yeah, funky. All right, sweet. I'm going to actually come in and check some of yours out. Give me a second here. Gotta find your some of your work. Does like a sway. Must be a dance. I'm sure, Leonardo, that must be like the shy dance one, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Let's see what else we got. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back over. Give me one sec, everybody. I'm just gonna come up and let's get this a bit more, interesting. Now we want them to actually talk. So what you're gonna do now is I want everyone, if you're outside right now and you're working on something, I want you to come back into the code environment, which is this one right here. So you're wondering about the dance. So let's come down here and get closer to your character. Let's make sure she's turned on. Now she is, that's good. Let's click on code. There she is. Everything is correct, Amanda. All you need to do is come up to the top and click play right there. And then you just click on her and she dances. There, she's dancing. I mean, she's dancing shyly. She's not like, she's just doing like a little sway dance. So she is working just the way you programmed her to. So everything in yours is good, Amanda. Okay, I'm going to bring that over and let's get back into our coding. So let's make our character talk. So what I want you to do is click on actions, and just below set animation of Tom, there's a thing that says Tom say hi, and below that there is one that says Tom says hi for 2 seconds. I want you to grab this one. Do not grab the one that doesn't have any time on it. We want the one that says Tom or whatever the name of your character is, say hi for 2 seconds. Drag that piece of code out, click it on the bottom, and I want your character to say something. So I'm going to type in welcome to my, I'm going to call it my escape room. You will need, to find the key. I'm just going to keep this really simple. You can type whatever you want, but I would say something to do with finding something. They don't have to find a key. They can find something else, like they can find a cat, or they can find a dog, or they can find a magic chalice, or whatever you want. Find a ring. But just say, welcome to my room, and then ask them they need to find something, because we're going to program this game to be like, find something and then the door opens for you. Okay, now here's the problem, and I'll show you what the problem is. When I click play, my character dances and says that, which is a bit, that just doesn't even make sense. And it only says it for 2 seconds. Look, 1, 2, and then it's gone. So what we need to do is, first of all, let's make our character talk for longer. I'm going to make my character like maybe 5 seconds is the amount of time my character is going to speak for. And then I'm also going to click on, rather than dance, I'm going to come all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to get my character to talk, I don't know, talk excitedly, because they're going to speak, right? And let's click play. Let's click on our character, and there he goes. He's talking for 5 seconds. He's pretty excited about you doing something. So here's the problem though. My character keeps talking and he doesn't stop talking. He like literally just talks forever. So that is another coding issue. So we're gonna have to figure that out. So once you have your talk excitedly, once you have your character saying something, what you want to do is you want to take your top piece of code and you want to right click it and you want to duplicate it or make a copy of it. I'll do that one more time. Click on the top one, right click it and duplicate it. And that makes an exact copy of your piece of code. So bring that code out, bring it underneath. And when your character finishes talking after 5 seconds, I'm going to get my character to clap. He's just going to like talk for 5 seconds. And then at the end, he's going to clap. He's just going to like stop and just start clapping because, well, he's excited about you, trying to find the key. So let's see how this works. Click. Welcome to my escape room. You will need to find the key. And then he's going to just clap. All right, I'm gonna pop back here. I'm gonna leave my code up here for you. Oh, this is looking like, woof, nice. You got like a bed. Yeah, feel free while you're waiting, everybody. You can totally put in couches. You can put in beds. That's all under building stuff. So you're more than welcome to add that in while you're waiting for me. I'm gonna click play on yours, Marcus, and just see what's going on here. Nice. Welcome to my room. Find the key to get out. Sweet. This is looking good. And nice. He does. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Looks really good. I'm gonna jump back one here, Marcus, and I'm gonna jump into Fletcher. Why not? See how Fletcher's doing. Fletcher, this is looking good. You got 3 people in there. I'm gonna check your code out. Ah, good. All right, so now Fletcher, this is good. You're using like a lot of new code here. That's awesome. Let's actually see what this looks like. I'm curious. So if I hover over them, that's an interesting, yeah, that's cool. So the hover actually acts, you don't have to click on them. It just hovers over top of them and then they change. Good for you. Good for you for branching out. That's awesome. I'm gonna jump back a little bit again. Aiden, this is looking like really, oh, you were building like a full-on like star scene in here. Let me check your code out. Nice, good. That's awesome. Keep working on that. All right, I'm gonna pull out and I'm gonna pull this over and come back in here. If anybody has any questions, please ask away. I'm happy to help you. So I'm going to come into housing and I'm going to kind of drag in some, just make it look more like a proper room here. It's not really looking that good. Now, one thing you will notice, and I'll just kind of talk through this while you're working away. You'll notice my thing is snapping. It's like snapping to the grid on the bottom. If you don't like that snapping, you can come up to the top left corner, click on snapping, and you can turn snapping off. That means when you move stuff, it moves smoothly. It doesn't snap. So if you don't like snapping, personally, I don't like snapping. So if you don't want to do that, please turn off the grid by clicking on snapping and turn the snap to grid check mark off. But that's total personal preference. You can do whatever you like, and it's totally up to you. I'm going to plug away here. I'm going to make this kind of a bedroom area, I guess. So actually, no, it's not going to be a bedroom. It's going to be a living room. I'm going to put a TV back here. Let's make this a bit bigger. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put a TV on the left wall over here on this side. It's the fun of building in 3D. You can make the space however you like. I'm going to move my window over, make it a bit smaller over here and up. And I'm sure we have a TV. There's the TV right there. Bring that over, bring it up. I'm going to kind of sit it down. Now, I want to show you all something. While I'm on the TV, I definitely want to show you this because you'll love this. My TV's the wrong way. My TV's facing the wrong way. Okay, my TV is now not facing the wrong way. Okay, whatever you're doing right now, watch how I do this because this is really cool. You can get GIFs onto the TV. You can make the TV like have something on it. So what I want you to do, everyone come into the button that has an arrow pointing upwards and it says upload on it right here. Now under upload, you can upload images, 3D models, videos, files, and sound. What I'd like you to do is make sure you click on the images one right here. It says images and look up, I'm going to type in Nyan Cat GIF. Now you can type in whatever GIF you want. Just put in GIF at the end of it or GIF. I'm not really sure which one it is. I can never remember. And oh, actually, you know what? This is interesting. It like they just must have added this in. You can look it up by clicking on GIF powered by Giphy. So you can find specific ones. Now I'm going to grab this one right here. I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to raise it up and I am going to put it on my TV screen. So there we go. I've got the Nyan Cat. Whoa, hold on a second here. I've got the Nyan Cat on my TV screen. Now you might want to push it into the TV and you might want to rotate it a bit. I'm not doing an awesome job of this actually. I could be doing better. Let's see if I can get this a bit straighter. There we go. So you can add kind of moving animations into your level. Now if I click play here, if I look over, you can see I've got the Nyan Cat running on the TV screen on my right. I was working on kind of making my room look a little bit nicer. So what else do I want? I want a couch. I can definitely add a couch is always nice to add into your workspace. Make that a bit bigger. Put that on the wall. Now, one thing you want to think about here, and I'm just going to talk about this as I build out my room, is you're going to hide the key somewhere. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but think about something you want to hide the key behind. So I'm going to click upload. I'm going to click on images and I'm going to search up, I'm just going to type in painting. I'm going to get a painting of some kind. How about this one of the like kind of wood scene here. Kind of cool. I'm going to put that up. I'm going to put that scene on the wall and stick it on the wall like that. And there we go. Okay, that's looking a little better. Now if I click play and look around my room, it's actually, I mean, it's not amazing or anything, but it's at least looking a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to come into your rooms here. One sec, I've got to jump over and see how you're coming along. So I'm just going to make this big. And this must be, I think that's Marcus's room. Jump back here. Sebastian, I'm going to check out how you're doing. It's looking good. Nice. You're kind of building out a little bit of a kitchen area here, it looks like. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to come back again. What else we got here? Lisa, I'll come into yours, see how you're doing. Good, this is looking good. You got like the piano cat going on here. This is actually a good chance to show you something. If you right click the cat here, there's a button called attach. And if you click it, all these little blue dots appear and you can click and it will attach itself to the object that you want it to go onto. All right, so I'm gonna come back into my space. I'm gonna zoom out. Actually, I'm in my play mode. Sometimes you're like in your play mode and you're like, I can't do anything. So just click the back arrow and then you can come back inside your editor over here. Okay, so everyone should have like some kind of a room. You always walk around inside of your room. Like the best thing to do is called play testing, is just walk around inside of it. You can jump on it. You should be able to jump on your TV, jump on your couches. Actually, Floor is Lava is a good game to build, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, just be able to walk around and make sure that everything in your level looks like reasonable. Nothing is like super huge. Nothing is super small. You want people to believe when they play your game, when your parents play your game, you want them to feel like, you know, immersed in it, like they're actually playing it, or your friends are playing your game. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit. We've got about another 15 minutes or so, so I don't want to get too far ahead of everybody, but I want to talk about our next tool that we're going to learn about. And the next tool we're going to learn about is going to be our what's called a path. And a path allows you to make things walk around and make things like move. So let me talk about it. What I want you to do is just watch me first, how I do it. I don't want you to try and do it at the same time as me. Just watch how I do it, and then we'll talk about it. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to click on my door. Sorry, I'm going to right click on my door, and then I'm going to animate it. I'm going to open it. I'm going to have my door open, and I'm just going to practice using my what's called a path tool. So I'm going to click on library, and I am going to click on special. Special is the one with the weird looking camera on the very, very, very bottom. It's a tool we have not used yet, and yeah, it's a special tool. So if you click on it, you'll notice you have what are called effects. So you have smoke, fire, maybe steam or something like that. We'll worry about those later. What we're worried about, or what we're looking at, is these ones right here. These are your paths. Now, these ones are more advanced, these two right here. So we're going to start easy with this little tiny line path right here. So the line path, you drag it and you put it on the ground. And I'm going to zoom into it because this is getting a little bit harder. I'm going to zoom into it and I'm going to kind of just look at it. Now, the path tool is exactly what you think it is. You can grab the end and you can make it longer. You can spin it in any direction. But the important thing to understand about the path tool is you'll notice that there are arrows on it. And these arrows are which direction the character is going to go on the path. If you put it the wrong way, like if I was to go like this, I'll show you what I mean by that, and I was making it go this way, the character, I can't grab it now, the character is going to walk like backwards down the path, or it's going to walk forwards. So make sure the arrows are going out the door. You want to put the path very close to his feet or her feet or their feet, and you want the path to go out the door that way. So I'll give everybody a little bit of time to set up your path, and I want it going like out the door. Doesn't have to go very far. You can just put it like right there as long as it goes outside the door. Even just a little bit outside the door, that's okay. Don't put it through the wall or it's going to look pretty weird because they're going to like ghost through the wall. Unless that's what you want. I mean, that's up to you. So the path, if you right click it, you'll notice it's called straight path and it just has a name on it. And the cool thing about the paths is they are already set up for code. They like automatically turn on. So you don't even have to worry about turning a path on for coding because it's auto set to click on and toggle. Once you've got that and you've got your path set up, what I always do when I have a path, and this is the first thing I always do, is I make the path way bigger. So I click on code. Sorry, not code. I click on path, which is the part right here with the two dots on it. And I make the width of the path bigger. And you can see it like, it makes it like super huge like that. You don't want it tiny. You want it like nice and fat like that. So that makes the path easy for us to like grab, makes it easy for us to like move around with the blue dots. You want it big because if you have it too small, it's going to be really hard to control. So make sure your path is nice and fat. Right click on it, click on path, and then I just turned it up using the width right here. You can see it right there. Now, the other thing I like to do is I like to click on curved like that. And you're like, well, what does that do? Well, that allows you to make curves in your path. You can make them like, they don't have to be straight. They can be like kind of curl around edges, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. We're going to start with a very, very simple straight path. You can put your path up in the air if you want, but that's going to look weird because your character is going to like walk in thin air. So make sure your path is on the ground. That's important. Okay, so now we need to make our character walk on this path. Here's the part that's a little harder, okay? But we can do it, no problem. So what we're gonna do is once our character finishes clapping, so I'd like everyone to go back into the coding section, which is this square right here. We're gonna get them to walk on the path, okay? So to do that, we're gonna use something called a transform, and we haven't used this yet. It's this little circle way up on the top up here, and it has 4 arrows in it, and it's called a transform right here. So click on it, and I'm gonna open it up a bit more so you can see it. And you'll notice it has like some weird thing that says move straight path 1 meter forward. It says move straight path on path. There's a bunch of really strange ones here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the third one down. So 1, 2, 3, and it says move straight path on path straight path, which sounds super confusing, but it'll make sense in a second. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab the third piece of code, pull it out, and put it in there, just like that. Now, obviously, we don't want to move the straight path on the path. We want to move Tom on the straight path. So whatever the name of your character is, move them on the straight path, like that. Now, don't move the straight path on Tom, because that won't work very well. Move your character along the straight path. And I would definitely move them forward, not backwards. And you can decide how long it takes. I'm going to make it 6 seconds for them on the straight path. Okay, so I'll say that again. This is under the Transforms tab, which is the blue circle on the top with all the arrows on it. And it's the third block down, the third piece of code down that part right there. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to click play. I'm going to click on Tom. He says, welcome to my escape room. You will need to find the key. And then he literally like hovers out the door and should stop. There he goes. If I click him again, he'll do the same thing. He'll say, welcome to my escape room. You will need to find the key. And he should like flip back to the start and do the same thing again. It looks kind of weird, but we're going to start here. It's a good start. All right, so I'm going to I'm going to jump out to my editor and I'm going to come in and see how you're all doing because this is getting a little harder, but that's okay. We're practicing. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, good. Let's see here. I'm going to take your roof off. Okay, good. All right. Are you having trouble? Okay, you got some you've got some smoke in there. That's good. I would suggest not attaching the roof just yet because it's hard to see inside, but that is totally up to you. I usually put the roof on kind of last, but all good. All right, good. This looks looking good right here. I'm going to check your code out. This one right here is very close to the right code, but I'm going to pull it out and you're going to grab the code that says move camera on path. So grab this one right here and this is the one you want. So you're going to move Wendy on the straight path. So you were very close with the code. We're going to use that one instead. Up here, oh, I see you've opened new, okay, you don't want to move the camera forward. I'll just delete that one for you. And other than that, this should be good. I'm just going to delete some of these extra blocks here. Okay, I'm going to leave you be. Amanda, I'm going to come in. Okay. I'm going to help you out with your path real quick here. Open up your door for you. So open that. I'm going to send this out and make that a bit wider for you. And then just real quick, drop this code in. There we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay. There we go. Good. All right, I'm going to jump out. That's looking really good. I'm going to check your code real quick. That's awesome. Your code's looking perfect there. That's looking really good. I'm just going to check your code. Yes, that is perfect. All right, I'm just going to jump back out and we have about 5 minutes left. So I am going to stop there because you've done like a whole lot of work already.